All right, guys, so as you can see, the audio came. I told you we were doing a full DS18 audio. This is everything that they offer for the new Broncos. So we got the tube for all the like the marine speakers, all new door speakers, tweeters, amps. I mean, you name it. If they make it and it'll fit this Bronco, it's in here. So obviously, only the best DS18. So huge shout out to Extreme Sounds out of Georgia that got us hooked up with these. They sent us out to them. I mean, we just ordered these last week, and they already came. So quick, fast, great. So if you need audio, definitely hit up Extreme Sounds in Georgia. So yeah, let's crack this thing open and see what all we got in here. All right, guys. So what we have. So this right here is a 12-inch sub. If I'm not mistaken, this mounts to the factory location inside there. There's like a little speaker in the back. I'm pretty sure this mounts right to it. Right here, we have some of the wet sound speakers that are going to be going in the roll bar. We have the DS18 bar that's going to hold it for all the tower speakers and everything. Then over here, we have a big box. You do see where it says overhead sound bar. So obviously this holds 4 speakers total. So we got that, another wet sound speaker right here, and we got a ton of 6.5s, 8s, tweeters, aluminum tweeters. We got a couple amps down here. So this audio is going to be absolutely insane. So you'll definitely want to watch this. You will definitely hear this thing coming from a mile down the road. So I'm going to go ahead and crack open one of these boxes so we can look at it, just because I'm excited as well. So I think I'm going to open the big box and take a look at it. All right, let's get this box out of here and take a look at it. This is a ported box. Well, there it is. It's already got a wiring harness going into it. So I think we need to take this over to the paint shop so that we can get this paint matched, because if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be seen inside the roll bar. So we might need to go get this paint matched. I'm not exactly sure just yet. We'll see on that. I think that's all for that box. Let's see. Alrighty, let's look at one of these wet sound speakers. Let's see what they look like. Oh, can't find my knife. Here we go. It's a box for a box. Oh, nice. So it's 2 in each box. Set this over to the side.
Packaging on them is really nice.
I know. Well, when you buy quality stuff, they package it real well. So there's one of the tower speakers that'll be on it. And it lights up. It's got a little LED controller, free to change the colors and everything on it, but solid stuff. So I'll put this back in so we don't mess it up. But yeah, and then I guess we will take one of these speaker boxes out and see what the normal speakers look like. I don't want to get too in depth in this just yet because we don't have room for it right now, so we're going to make some room for it. So I don't want to get everything all out of the package just yet. So that's the Marine speakers. Let's crack open one more box and see what these speakers are like. So we got a couple amps in here. These are for the door panels, for the door speakers. So I think, and here's one of the amps right here. We'll go ahead and crack one of these open. We got a ton of different amps. So here's one of them right here. DS18 amp. So obviously we already know DS18's some of the best on the market. So that's who we decided to go with. And like I said, give another shout out again to Extreme Sounds down in Georgia. They hooked it up big time for this build. So I really want to see these door speakers, so I think we'll just keep going until we find a door speaker. So I would think that this would be the door speakers, maybe. Okay, here we go. So these are 8-inch Marine speakers. So you can see what they look like. I'm not going to crack them all the way open, but you can see them. And this right here is a really big amp, so I'd imagine it's really heavy, so I'd imagine there's more stuff in there than just an amp. Here we go. Here's the good stuff. There's the LED controller. Here's a bunch of 6.5s. I think there's 3 in there. And then some tweeters. These, I think, are going to be pretty sick. Oh, you know I'm keeping them speakers, them stickers. They're going on the toolbox. But these are sweet. So these right here have LEDs inside of them. And they are also billet aluminum. They light up. These are just the tweeters. I mean, think about that. That is just one of the tweeters. And it lights up. Wow. Like I said, DS18 is the best in the game, and they got a lot of cool stuff for these Broncos. So if you got a Bronco, definitely look into them, because we pretty much bought the whole catalog for the Broncos. Got a bunch of wiring kits. We have 3 different wiring kits, maybe 4. Nope, just 3. So there's 3 amps, 3 wiring kits. I'm not exactly sure what this is. This is a 6.5 loudspeaker. And we got some more speakers. I think these are door speakers. We got a couple boxes of these. Yeah, these are a bunch of door speakers. So these are most of the littler speakers. And then obviously we have the sub and the bar to mount on the roll bar. So I'm not going to crack all this open, not just yet anyways, until we find a place to put it for the time being. But as you can see, it's going to be a pretty wild sound system. So definitely stay tuned to see all of this put together, because you will hear this thing coming from a mile away, I can promise you. So let's get into the next thing. All right, guys, so we kind of picked it up. We took these harnesses out. Like this wire harness is for the rear. It goes in with the calipers, the diff, and all that kind of stuff. It's got electric parking brake and all that kind of stuff. There was another harness that's up on the front, and we went ahead and took that off so the frame would be nice and clean right here. We took these body bolts out. We're going to take them out while we paint, clean up all these areas and everything. Kind of come and go as you please. We don't want the body to shift and us have to worry about putting them back on. So We're just gonna loosen them, do that section, and then we'll put it back in. Everything. We're gonna clean up these body mount bolts and everything, so they look a lot nicer. But we did a little test area right here just to kind of see exactly how it's gonna look. So we decided to go with a flat black. We thought semi-gloss, but we put semi-gloss in there, and it looked just a little bit too glossy. And obviously, we want most of the attention to be on the suspension. All the suspension is going to be glossy and everything. So we're just going to go and put flat on it, because if you look at it, it just looks like a brand new, really clean frame, and I actually kind of like that look. I think it looks better. So like I said, we did this little test piece right here to see how we were going to like it. We took the harnesses out. Obviously, got the brake lines right here. Try to clean some stuff up. So under here, you got a little bit of surface rust everywhere. And we want to get in here, knock all that off, go ahead and paint it, so that way it's taken care of. Eventually, this truck will probably get framed off, like get a frame off build, because he'll probably want to do a solid axle swap in the future and everything like that. When we do that, we have more time. We'll probably do a frame off, so when we do that, it'll all get powder coat everything. With this exhaust, we cut off the old exhaust tips because with the hitch and the bumper, I don't think it's going to fit, and it didn't look like Sema, so we went ahead and cut that off. We're gonna haven't really decided exactly what we are going to do with this exhaust. We're just going to dump it out with a nice tip, maybe powder coat it. There's just a good, chrome tip. We got some exhaust wrap on the way, because this exhaust obviously looks very grimy. So we're going to take this heat shield and everything off and cover it in exhaust heat wrap, all that kind of stuff. It's just a breather hose for the tank and everything, or for the axle. I mean, so we're gonna get all this stuff off the frame. We try to get a bunch of it off already, so we can go in, sand it up, and get a good layer of paint on it to where we're not painting over bolts. Like we had the body bolts here, so we didn't lose them, but we went ahead and took those out, put them in a bag, labeled them. Took this heat shield off so that we could get this whole frame rail. Obviously, we're gonna have to mask everything off for us to do this, but we've been going through and kind of cleaning the underneath parts we can't really get to in the suspensions there, even with a pressure washer. So we're going through, making sure everything's cleaned up real nice before we start painting. But that's the plan for this week. So the plan for this week is we got all the stuff back from the blaster. Ken's over there working on the powder coat stuff. He's got a lot of stuff in primer. Today's Monday. He's already got a lot of stuff in powder, primer. So wait on the new control arms to come in, a new caliper. Like you seen in the last video, the caliper got messed up. Can't do the control arm. So we did a test run. I'll put some of those clips in here in this video, because this video is more so going to be dedicated to powder coat, audio, and kind of prep for putting the suspension back together. So you'll see all that in this video, but while we're waiting on all that, we're kind of working on this frame. So with all that being said, footage of all the powder coat going on, and by the end of this week, we should have everything back from powder. And towards the end of this week, over the weekend, we'll start putting things back together, because at this point, I think we're less than 30 days away from SEMA. So definitely crunch time. We still don't have the bumpers, still don't have the tires, still don't have the headlights and taillights. But obviously the audio came. We got the hitch, which the hitch, we ran into an issue. So this hitch, the way it mounts up, it just mounts on this back frame rail. And it's going to go up in here like this. But the problem that we ran into is Bulletproof sent us out a hitch. And this is a 2-inch inlet, and the Bulletproof one's a 2.5. So I got to talk to a shop to see about getting the hitch milled down so that it will go in here. But just a small bump in the road. We obviously had to take the hitch, get it powder coated, and the hitch receiver will get powder coated. The hitch will be powder coated. Stabilizer bars will be powder coated. So huge shout out to Bulletproof for sending that out to us. So like I said, huge shout out to Bulletproof for sending that out. This thing isn't going to be towing. It's more or less, we weren't even going to run a hitch, but because Bulletproof sent us out a hitch, we decided to get a hitch receiver, something, that's small, tucked away. Obviously all the focus is going to be on the Fusion bumpers in the rear. So we just got something simple to put on there just so it can hold the hitch pretty much. Because obviously a big hitch always looks nice, especially when it's powder coated. May look a little funky. Big Bronco is obviously not going to tow anything. Aesthetically pleasing. So the drive shafts are over there getting painted. The CV axles are getting painted. They're all going to be nice. So this thing is going to be as nice as it can be for the time frame that we got. Obviously, this is the deepest we've gotten into a build, and it's been really awesome working with Bryson and everything, and Max with this project. They've pretty much given us full range in Bryson's absence, so we've been able to kind of figure things out on the fly, which I obviously understand Bryson's taste. So we're kind of, meeting in the middle on things that, you know, I'm not sure of. So yeah, this video, you'll start seeing pieces come together. And then next week's video, we'll get into putting it all together. You'll see it take shape. So we're going to get into doing this frame, and we'll pick you guys back up. All right, guys, so we're back. We're done. We just went through and painted all of the frame under and all around. As you can see, it looks like an absolutely brand new frame. So when you take the time to clean the frame up nice, wire wheel it, sand it flat, all that kind of stuff, which this frame was still pretty new starting out, so it wasn't really a whole lot of prep work. But if you really take the time and do it right, then it will, you know, the results will show. So tomorrow we're going to bolt up this gas tank. We're going to clean it off. Once all this paint completely dries, we're going to let it sit overnight and cure. Like as you see, we did wrap up the vehicle so that we didn't get anything on it, and in the wheel wells we made little cardboard templates to go inside there so that we weren't spraying inside the wheel well, you know, so it didn't look like a hack job. Like I said, we did take our time and do it right, so it should, you know, all look good. And as you can see through the results, I mean, you look right here, I mean, it's a brand new frame. So semi-gloss just looked too glossy. So the flat black, in my opinion, looks awesome. So like I said, tomorrow we're going to bolt this gas tank back up. So, you know, keep the bolt in the front and the back, just enough to hold it up. We're going to completely clean this skid plate and try to get it painted up. We took the wires off the frame, as you've seen. So that's completely out of the way. So when it goes back together, it looks factory. You know, we got a lot of time in this frame and underneath and all that kind of stuff, masking all that stuff off. But the results show that, and it looks incredible. So tomorrow we're going to run over to the powder coat shop, get some stuff over there. We're probably looking at the next day or two to get everything back. But I will be over there, get you some footage. And so I guess I'll pick you guys up at the powder coat shop. To the channel. So in the last video we talked about how we were worried about powder coating the control arms, we couldn't paint them, yada yada. So I also said we were going to do a test control arm. So this is that test control arm because the bushings were already messed up and everything. We tested it. So the guys over here that you'll see today for Metal Laundry, they taped this up, wrapped it up with tinfoil, heat resistant tape and everything, and you could not tell that this ball joint was in there when it was powder coated. So that looks absolutely stellar. And also the bushing, this one was messed up, but the rubber is still completely intact, didn't mess up whatsoever. Obviously it was masked off and you can't tell. So when it's all said and done, if I hadn't told you all about this issue that we ran into, you would never know. But like I said, shout out to the guys over here at Metal Laundry. We're going to introduce y'all to them today. They hooked it up with us, and they got it figured out. So shout out to them for getting this figured out. I can't wait to see how this control arm turns out and all the suspension. So let's go in there and talk to them now. All right, guys. So we got a lot of the powder work done. Ken over here at Metal Laundry, he does all my powder work. They knocked it out of the park today. This morning, everything was still in bare metal, so we kind of hung out for the day to get some videos for you guys. They went through the whole process, but as you can see, we got the majority of the stuff going on this Bronco done. So we got a big load that's being done. It might be hard to tell because of the video, but yeah. So it's a long process and stuff. So I'm gonna let Ken explain it all.
I'm gonna turn the radio
The
off.
colors we got once we turn the radio down. So I'm gonna turn it over to Ken, let him explain, what all they did and their operation.
All right, hey, how y'all doing? What we did, we got everything back from Media Blast Friday and yesterday. And yesterday we spent about 10 hours prepping all this stuff out. That was sanding, taping, masking. You don't realize all the work that goes into that. So we had to do all that prior to putting primer on most of this. We had to make sure we had to mask up the threads and everything so these guys don't have any issues reassembling this thing next week. But what we did this morning when we got in here, we went back through everything. If anything had flash rusted, we re-blasted in our cabinet. We got everything done in zinc primer today, and we turned around and started with the easy colors. We hit our super metallic yellow. That came from Columbia Coatings, and we got that for the sway bar, the track bar, and some brackets for the reservoir mounts for the King coils or for the King shocks. What you see here on this one, same thing. We've got primer, we've got heavy silver base out of prismatic powders, and we got Malibu Barbie. And if I had a light, if Kylan comes back, I'm going to get him to light it up for y'all. We can come back to that. And over here, this was the beast. We did, I love this color. It looks so good in the sunlight. It is Island Boy from Columbia Coatings. Same with the Malibu Barbie. We shot it with primer. We shot it with the heavy silver base coat from Prismatic Powders, and we finished it off with the top coat from Island Boy from Columbia Coatings, and it really turned out well. And we'll walk over here. We got some rotors we got to finish up tomorrow. We got a few odds and ends, but for the most part, we'll be done with this hopefully by noon tomorrow, and these guys can pick it all up and get it reassembled. You'll see it in the sunlight here. You'll see what it does. I don't know how well it's going to pick it up, but it's an incredible color. It's one of the most popular ones we've done here lately, and I think we've been doing these things for Kylan now for going on a year now, and
Yeah.
it seems like we do a lift kit about every 7 to 10 days for him.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
Like
you said,
you want to light up that pink form? We
yeah.
let's
Let's go show
back
y'all
over
the
there.
pink. So obviously, y'all see in the sunlight, the Island Boy. We also got the yellow right here. This is
It's got metallic in it.
With metallic. It's kind of hard to see the metallic. It's very fine. But once it's on the truck, you got the rock lights and everything on it, you'll see it. So this pink right here,
Get that diff cover.
as I told you, this Malibu Barbie.
Malibu Barbie with a heavy silver base.
So it has absolutely got a lot of flake in it. The video probably won't even do it justice, but it is absolutely glistening. So I really like this pink color. I've done a few lifts in this color. We really love the Island Boy just because it pops so much, and when they do it, it turns out awesome all the way, all the time. So
I'll tell you, this doesn't get done as fast as it gets done without two guys who work for me, Steve and Sean. They crushed it today. I mean, it was definitely, it's the guys, their work is phenomenal, and we're very particular on how we do things. And I think Kylan saw that firsthand today when we had some bugs we had to work through. Literally, we had a bug we had a bug when we were in the spacers that flew in there that we had to get out, and then we had a piece of trash land in one of the reservoir mounts that before we went in, we saw it, cleaned it out, and reshot it. And I mean, it's attention to detail, and I think we do a pretty good job with it.
yeah, so Sean is the one that you've seen spraying most of the stuff. Huge shout out to him because they did the pink today for us just because we were here trying to get some footage. So huge shout out to them for that. So
you boys will be taking this tomorrow with you.
Yeah, at this point, we're going to get on out of here for the day. They got just a few little odds and ends stuff to button up. And I think he said tomorrow we'll be taking all this stuff to the shop. So
yeah.
That being said, tomorrow we'll start reassembly. But that'll all be in next week's video. I think I'm going to wrap the video up right here today so we can make this main focus on, their work and the prep work, before all this stuff starts to go back together. So next week's video will be more focused on getting it back together and start seeing the build come to life. So huge shout out to them again. Once again, like I said, it's been over a year. He's been doing all my work and never disappoints. I mean, this morning everything was bare metal and it's pretty much done now. I mean, realistically, we could take all this stuff that's hanging today if we wanted to, but We're gonna let them have their time and everything because they've
Dealer
already done.
prep we got to do on it.
Yeah, they still got stuff they got to do, so we're just gonna leave it with them, and come get it tomorrow, and we'll start assembly. So make sure you stay tuned to next week's video because next week's video we're going back together. We're at this point right now. It's Tuesday. We have 16 days before this thing's got to be loaded up and go on the trailer. We still don't have bumpers. We still don't have tires. We still don't have a winch for the bumpers.
Headlights, taillights.
Yeah, bumpers still have to be painted. So, it's definitely crunch time. So we may be putting bumpers on at SEMA. Who knows? So we'll see. So, yeah, make sure you stay tuned. We'll see you on the next one.